I've been thinking about the woman at the well, of course. And I often have told this story as if she were really irritated and feeling outcast and put out by people, ostracized maybe because of her living situation. But she's speaking to me a little differently today. And so if it's okay with you, I would like to imagine her, how she might talk about her encounter with Jesus. If she, I'm not going to say put it on the video to show, because we know at the end of the story, she gathered all her people together. So let's imagine, just as we've been able to gather together here, that she might speak. So what might she say today? It was it's safer to go to the well alone. There's been so much sickness around. Nobody wanted to gather with big groups. And I know that some of the women were still going together, but I didn't really feel that comfortable. And I didn't feel very welcome. And the fact of the matter is that the man that I share my home with is not well. So I was doing everything I possibly could to keep myself safe, to keep him healthy, and to get the water that we needed. Because no matter what, you can't easily make it through the day without water. And so I picked the time no one really goes, when the sun is highest and hottest. I carried my jar there, and as I got close to the well, I could see that I was not going to be alone. And as I got close, I could also see that I did not recognize this person who was sitting there. And I got closer and I could see that it was a man, which I did not understand, because even though Jacob, our ancestor, had dug this well, fetching the water is the job of the women, sometimes the children, but not men. And then when I got even closer, I could see that not only was he not from around here, not from our parts, this village of Sychar in Samaria, but he was Jewish. I didn't, we don't get along, all right? Can I just put it like that? Some people are outwardly hostile. Many of us are not outwardly hostile to one another, or those who are different. Some of us just like to keep our distance. And I tend to be one of those who isn't necessarily going to be outwardly hostile. And I was hoping that he was not going to be outwardly hostile to me, thinking he wouldn't be, because actually he was at our well. But still, I didn't want to make a fuss. I just stayed to one side and I lowered my jar down into the well. And he asked if he could have a drink. Well, I am not one to tell somebody no if they're thirsty. It's so hot in the sun. So I lowered the jar again and I gave him a drink. And I said, "Why is it that you, a Jew, are asking me for a drink of water?" He took a long sip, a really long sip. And then he took a breath and he looked at me and he said, "If you knew who it was who was asking you for water, you would ask him and he would give you living water." I did not understand what he was saying and why he would say such a thing. I looked at him and I said, living water. You know, this is a very deep well that was dug a long time ago by our ancestor Jacob. There is no running water around here, no living water. Are you greater than our ancestor? And he looked. And I said, tell me more. He said, anyone who drinks of this water will be thirsty again. But the water I offer will bubble up like an eternal spring, and whoever drinks of it will never thirst. And I have to tell you, there was something about the way that he said that I just looked at him and I said, all right, then I want to have this water that you are offering. That is the water. I don't want to be thirsty again. I'm tired of being thirsty. I'm tired of being hot. I'm tired of there being no living water. I'm tired of having to dive so deep to get something to drink. I want this living water that you have. I think we were both surprised that I was looking in his face, because when I pulled back, he said, go get your husband. How was I going to explain this to him? I said, I don't have a husband. And he said, you're right. You've had 5 husbands, and the man you share your home with is not your husband. And I looked at him. I couldn't. How did you? Are you a prophet? He must have been a prophet. How else would he know everything about me? Are you a prophet? I have heard them say that the Messiah is coming. Are you the Messiah? Do you know this Christ? And he looked at me and he said, the Christ, the Messiah that you are speaking of, you're looking at him. Oh my goodness. He kept looking at me and he kept talking, and I'm not going to get all of the words right, but he said that we here are worshiping in ways that the Jews, I said, the Jews are going to teach us to worship. He said, yes, the God you worship, you need to worship. God is calling us to worship the living God. We must worship with spirit and truth. And all the words got jumbled in my head, and it didn't matter. They were just overflowing. It was kind of like that living water that he was talking about, bubbling up and just coming all out of me. I said, wait. You wait here. I need to get my friends. I need to get my people. You stay here. And I turned and I ran back and I gathered up. Come, I said, come to the well. Please come to the well. There is a man there, and he knows everything about me. He has told me everything about me. He has seen me, and he knows me. Come. And to tell you the truth, I don't know why the people came. Maybe they were so surprised that I was yelling and screaming, that I, who had been sequestered for so long with just the man in my home, was calling for them to come together and to follow me to the water. And when we got there, there was the man. I learned that his name was Jesus. And I saw some of his followers. They came and they saw him speaking with me. And even though they looked surprised, they didn't say anything. And Jesus talked. And he stayed with us for 2 days. I drank in every word I could. And I've already told you, I don't even really remember all of the words. But I drank in him, his spirit. And more than his spirit, I think I drank in his love for me. For me. I don't know where he went now. He said he was on his way to Jerusalem. I don't know what's going to happen. all I know is that I met him at the well. And I am overflowing. I cannot keep it to myself anymore. God is so good. The woman at the well.